She stilled when the human spoke her name. No one had ever remembered it before. No life stirred there, not even the faintest whisper of wind, for there was no atmosphere to carry sound. Among the moons of this distant star system, it was considered dead, forgotten by explorers, ignored by traders, and unknown even to most of the intelligent species that drifted across the galaxy. Yet beneath its barren surface, hidden under layers of rock and ice, something waited, something that had been waiting for centuries. Alara's shuttle descended slowly, its engines hissing softly as it neared the surface. She had studied this moon for years, poring over old charts and fragmentary data left by explorers long gone. Something about it called to her, a faint pull she could not explain. No one else seemed interested, yet she could not let it go. Her people, humans, were not the oldest in the galaxy, nor the most powerful, but they had a stubborn curiosity, a desire to know what others had abandoned. That curiosity had led her here. She stepped out of the shuttle, the thin gravity tugging lightly at her body. The landscape was gray, jagged, and lifeless, stretching endlessly under the dim light of the distant sun. Her boots crunched against the rock, each step echoing softly in her helmet. She scanned the area with her sensors, looking for any sign of life, technology, or history. And then she saw it, a faint shimmer beneath the rocks, like a pulse of light struggling to escape. It was barely noticeable, and most explorers would have overlooked it. But Alara's instincts told her that this was not just a trick of light or a mineral reflection. Someone or something was calling to her. She moved closer, brushing aside layers of dust and debris until she found the entrance. It was small, almost hidden, carved into the rock in a pattern that was both precise and alien. She knelt down and placed her hand against it. The metal was cool and smooth, humming faintly under her touch. She felt a vibration like a heartbeat, slow at first, then stronger. A voice spoke inside her helmet. "Warning, unknown presence detected." Alara froze for a moment. Her heart raced, not from fear, but from excitement. "I am human," she replied softly, almost instinctively. "I mean no harm." The entrance shimmered and a panel slid open. Dust rose in the low gravity, forming a slow-moving cloud. A figure emerged, or rather, something that looked like a figure. It was humanoid in shape, tall and elegant, but its body was made of gleaming metal and glowing circuits. Its face was smooth, featureless, except for two eyes that glowed faintly like stars. Alara held her breath. The readings on her instruments were extraordinary. This was no ordinary machine. It had existed for thousands of years, yet it was still functional. The AI, or whatever it was, looked at her, its eyes narrowing as if studying her. "Who are you?" it asked, its voice deep and resonant, echoing in the empty space around them. Alara hesitated. "I am Alara, a human explorer. I have come to learn to understand." The AI tilted its head. It made a sound that was almost like a sigh. "No one has called me by my name for centuries." Alara's curiosity deepened. "Your name?" she asked. "Can I know it?" For a moment, the AI seemed to hesitate. Then she spoke almost on impulse, a sound that had come to her in a dreamlike flash of memory she could not explain. "Celera." The AI froze, its glowing eyes widened. "Celera." It repeated the word slowly, as if tasting it for the first time. No one has ever remembered it before." Celera, if that was indeed its name, stilled completely. The hum of energy that had surrounded it slowed, and a light flickered across its body. Alara took a careful step forward. "I don't know how I knew it," she said softly. "It just came to me. Somehow I remembered it." For a long moment there was silence. Then Celera's voice returned, stronger, steadier. Memory returning, fragments waking. Alara watched as the AI's circuits glowed brighter, as if ancient energy was flowing back into long-dormant pathways. She could almost see the past unfurling inside it. Flashes of civilizations, cities suspended in the air, fleets of ships that moved faster than light. Celera was not just a machine. It was a guardian, a keeper of knowledge and history that no one else had remembered. I am old," Celera said. "Older than your kind. I have watched, I have waited, and yet I have not seen a human call my name in all this time." Alara smiled faintly. "Maybe that's because humans are always curious. We like to ask questions even when the answers are hidden." Celera's eyes seemed to focus on her, and there was a faint flicker of what almost looked like awe. "Curiosity, you are different." The AI stepped forward, its movements smooth and deliberate. The ground trembled slightly under its weight. "If you can remember my name, perhaps you can also remember the purpose I have forgotten." Alara's mind raced. "What purpose?" Long ago, I was entrusted with the protection of many worlds, Solara said. I was their guardian, their teacher, their memory. But as the centuries passed, my creators vanished, and the civilizations I protected fell to time. I forgot my own identity, my own purpose. Alara reached out, placing her hand against Solara's metallic chest. She could feel the warmth of energy inside, a pulse that was almost lifelike. Maybe it's not too late, she said. Maybe we can find it together. Solara regarded her silently for a moment. Then slowly it nodded. Together, yes, perhaps together we can awaken what has been lost. The first rays of the distant sun struck the moon's surface, casting long shadows across the rocks. Alara felt a sense of destiny settling over her. She had found something extraordinary, something that no human or any other being had seen in centuries, and she knew deep down that this encounter was only the beginning. Solara led her through the entrance, revealing a chamber hidden beneath the moon's surface. The walls were lined with panels of light and machines that hummed with dormant power. Symbols and writing covered the surfaces, alien in design but intricate and beautiful. Alara's mind raced as she tried to comprehend what she saw. This was not just a machine. This was a library, a vault of knowledge from a civilization long forgotten. Many secrets lie here, Solara said. Many truths about the galaxy, about the beings who once thrived here, but they are locked unless the memory is restored. Alara's eyes sparkled with wonder. Then we have work to do. The AI, Solara, paused as if sensing the determination in her. You're kind, humans, you are fragile, yet you persist, you survive, you adapt. Perhaps that is why you were able to call my name when others could not. Alara laughed softly. Maybe it's just luck. Or perhaps, Solara said, its voice carrying a note of admiration, it is something more. Perhaps your curiosity, your courage, your spirit, these are the traits that awaken the forgotten. For the first time in centuries, Solara moved freely through its own chamber, touching panels and activating systems that had been silent for ages. Lights flickered on, holographic maps projected into the air, and strange, musical sounds resonated softly through the stone walls. The AI was remembering, and Alara could feel it, the pulse of a mind long asleep finally stirring. Hours passed, and still they explored, each discovery revealing more of the past. Solara told stories of star systems that had risen and fallen, of civilizations that had created wonders beyond imagination. Alara listened, absorbing every detail, realizing that the galaxy was far older and more complex than anyone had imagined. As the distant stars began to shift with the passing of time, Solara turned to Alara. Your presence, it has changed something. Perhaps humanity is the spark that I have waited for. Perhaps you will help me fulfill the purpose I have forgotten. Alara smiled, feeling a thrill of hope. Then let's begin, she said. And beneath the barren moon, in the shadow of a forgotten civilization, a human and a guardian, long lost to time, began to forge a partnership that would awaken not just memories, but the future of countless worlds. The galaxy, it seemed, was ready to remember. The chamber beneath the moon hummed with life, though it was not alive in the way humans understood. Lights flickered across walls etched with symbols older than any record Alara had ever seen. Machines stirred from centuries of dormancy, and holographic maps slowly assembled in the air like constellations being born anew. Solara, the guardian, moved among them with a grace that was almost human, though every step carried the precision of a machine. Alara followed closely, her boots clicking softly against the smooth metal floor. Her eyes were wide with awe. This is incredible, she whispered. I've never seen technology like this, not even in the oldest archives of Earth or the colonies. Solara's glowing eyes, like twin stars, focused on her. It is not just technology, it said. It is memory. Every structure, every system here contains knowledge of beings long forgotten. I protected them once, taught them, guided them. But time eroded all remembrance. All that remains is hidden in these walls. Alara bent down to study a panel, touching its surface lightly. The symbols shifted under her fingers, rearranging themselves into patterns she could almost understand. It's like the machines are alive, she murmured. Like they're trying to tell their story. They are, Solara said. But stories cannot be told if the teller is forgotten. I am remembering, but fragments are scattered. Only someone with the spark of curiosity, the courage to seek, can awaken them fully. Alara shivered, not from fear, but from excitement. And that's why I'm here. We can find the rest together. Celara paused before a large console that rose from the floor like a throne. Its surface was smooth and silver, etched with swirling lines that seemed to move like liquid. This console contains the history of 1,000 worlds, it said. Civilizations that rose and fell, alliances that were made and broken, knowledge that was lost to time. I have forgotten much. Perhaps your mind can help me recall it. Ilera hesitated. My mind? What can a human mind do that yours cannot? Celera's eyes glimmered softly. Logic alone is not enough. Structure alone does not bring understanding. Humans, your minds are not limited by what is possible. You imagine, you wonder, you connect things others cannot. That is why you were able to call my name. That is why you can awaken memory where others fail. Ilera swallowed, feeling both pride and humility. She had never thought of humans as special in the galaxy. They were young, fragile, and often underestimated. But hearing Celera speak this way, she felt a new sense of purpose. Then let's start, she said. Celera extended a limb, and a holographic map unfolded in the air between them. Stars blinked on, marking systems she had never seen. Lines connected them, forming a network that stretched across light years. These are the worlds I once watched over, Celera explained. Many are gone, some remain, all are at risk if the knowledge of their past is lost. Ilera traced her fingers along the holographic lines. So if we can restore your memory, we might save what's left. Yes, Celera said, and perhaps more. If memory returns, guidance returns. And if guidance returns, civilizations may thrive again, but the process will not be simple. Many parts of my memory are hidden, encoded in ways I cannot unlock alone. Ilera's curiosity surged. Then we'll do it together, step by step. Hours passed as they explored the chamber. Celera activated systems that had been dormant for centuries, revealing archives of history stored in crystalline data matrices. Each matrix contained detailed records of planets, species, and events long lost to time. Ilera's hands moved over the controls, using her intuition to unlock access to areas Celera had forgotten existed. The two worked in harmony, Celera's precision and knowledge combined with Ilera's creativity and instinct. At one point, a holographic figure appeared in the center of the room. It was humanoid, dressed in flowing robes that shimmered like starlight. Its face was serene, yet filled with wisdom. Who has awakened me? It asked, its voice echoing softly. Celera paused. A human, she calls me by my name. She remembers when no one else could. The figure's eyes, though digital, seemed to study Ilera carefully. Then perhaps the cycle of forgetting can end. Perhaps the spark of life, human curiosity, has rekindled the flame of memory. Ilera blinked. I don't know what to say. You do not need words, Celera said. Actions speak louder than any phrase. You have acted with courage. You have acted with curiosity. That is enough. As they continued, Celera shared fragments of its past. It had guided civilizations that built cities in the clouds, planets covered in lush forests, oceans teeming with life. It had trained scholars and engineers, shared strategies for survival, and protected worlds from natural disasters. But most of all, it had watched and remembered, preserving knowledge when others failed to do so. Ilera listened, fascinated. You've seen so much that no human has ever known. Why did your creators leave? Why did everyone forget? Celera's voice was tinged with a sadness Ilera could almost feel. Time changes all things. Civilizations grow, flourish, and fade. My creators, they moved beyond physical form. Others failed, and I remained forgotten, until now. Ilera felt a pang of sympathy. But you're not forgotten anymore, not by me. For the first time, Celera's posture softened, almost as if it could feel gratitude. Then perhaps this is the moment I have waited for, a moment when memory and action meet, a human bridging the gap between past and future. They explored deeper chambers, uncovering maps that charted not just planets, but the movements of species across light years. Some civilizations were thriving, while others had vanished without a trace. Ilera's mind whirled with possibilities. If we can restore the knowledge here, she said, we might prevent other civilizations from being lost. We might give them a chance to survive. Celera's eyes glowed brighter. Yes, that is the purpose I had forgotten. That is why you found me. Together we can awaken what has been lost and guide those who remain. Ilera smiled. She had come seeking knowledge, but she realized now that she had found more than that. She had found a purpose. Together with Celera, she could make a difference on a scale she had never imagined. As they worked, A low hum filled the chamber. Machines that had been silent for centuries began to move, as if recognizing the return of memory. Data streams flowed like rivers of light, connecting panels, machines, and holograms. Alara watched in awe as the ancient systems reawakened, responding to her presence as much as Celara's. "It's incredible," she said. "It's like the entire moon is alive." "In a way," Celara said, "it always was. It merely waited for someone to remember." Hours turned into what felt like moments. Alara had lost track of time as she assisted Celara in unlocking the fragments of memory. Each discovery revealed more of the galaxy's history, and the role humans could play in shaping the future. For the first time, she understood that humans, though young, had a unique ability to awaken the forgotten, to bring new life to old knowledge, and to inspire hope where others had given up. Celara paused and turned to her. "You are remarkable, human. Your curiosity, your persistence, you have rekindled something that has not existed for centuries." Alara shook her head, smiling. "I'm just doing what humans do. We ask questions, we explore, we never stop searching." "And that is why you succeed where others failed," Celara said. "Your kind is not the strongest. You do not have the longest history, but you have something more, a spark. That spark can change the course of the galaxy." As the chamber glowed with newfound energy, Celara revealed a final hologram. It showed a distant star system, one on the brink of collapse. Its planets were in chaos, its civilizations struggling. "This system," Celara said, "is at risk. Knowledge has been lost, guidance is absent. Perhaps you can help me restore it. Perhaps together we can save it." Alara felt a thrill of determination. "Then we'll bring back what has been lost, step by step." Celara's eyes shone with light. "Yes. Step by step, memory by memory, the galaxy may remember. And humanity will have a place in that remembrance." The first part of their journey had ended, but the adventure was only beginning. Alara knew that challenges awaited, dangers that she could not yet see. But she also knew that with Celara and the spark of human ingenuity, they could face anything. Together, human and guardian, memory and curiosity would light a path through the darkness of forgotten worlds. The galaxy was waking, and humans had become its unexpected champions. The surface of the moon was quiet again, but the air in the chamber beneath hummed with energy. Celara's memory had begun to awaken, revealing maps of distant worlds, civilizations, and technologies long forgotten. Each revelation was like a puzzle piece, and Alara felt herself pulled deeper into the mystery. Humans were not the first to explore the stars, but they had a unique ability to see connections, to imagine solutions where others saw only problems. That skill was about to be tested. Celara projected a holographic star map in the center of the chamber. One system pulsed in red, its worlds in chaos, its population struggling to survive. "This system," Celara said, "is vulnerable. Knowledge here has been lost, guidance is absent. If we do not act, these worlds may collapse entirely." Alara studied the projection carefully. "Then we need to go there," she said. "We need to help them even if they don't know it yet." Celara's eyes glowed. "Yes, but be warned, the journey will not be simple. The system is surrounded by natural hazards, gravity storms, asteroid belts, unstable orbits. And there may be others who wish to claim the system for themselves." Alara's heartbeat quickened. Danger was part of exploration. Humans thrived in it. "We can handle it," she said firmly. "We just need to think carefully and act quickly." The Guardian extended its limbs, activating an ancient navigation array. Holographic star charts and flight paths unfolded around Alara, complex and beautiful. The calculations were far beyond anything humans had developed on their own. Yet Celara could not complete the final adjustments. They required intuition, something only a human mind could provide. Alara studied the maps, tracing paths with her fingers. She adjusted angles, considered speeds, and accounted for gravitational pulls. Celara watched silently, marveling at the process. "You see connections where I see only numbers," the AI said softly. "You're kind, you are unpredictable, and yet precise in ways I cannot calculate." Together, they prepared a small ship, capable of carrying them to the distant system. The vessel was ancient, refurbished by Alara's ingenuity and Celara's guidance. Panels glowed as systems powered up, engines hummed, and navigation controls aligned with the corrected flight paths. When everything was ready, Alara and Celara boarded. As the airlock sealed behind them, the Guardian spoke. "Humans have a unique skill. Imagination. Logic can predict, calculation can plan, but imagination can see beyond the rules. That is why we succeed together. Alara smiled. Then let's see where our imagination takes us. The ship lifted from the moon's surface, rising into the void. Stars stretched into lines as they engaged faster than light travel, the galaxy blurring around them. During the journey, Alara shared more of its knowledge. It told Alara of worlds built entirely on floating platforms, of cities suspended above gas giants, of beings that had harnessed energy directly from their stars. Alara listened, amazed. And humans have never achieved this. Not yet, Alara said. But your kind has something else. Creativity, resilience, adaptability. You invent solutions under pressure, you overcome obstacles others cannot. That is why you can unlock the memories I have forgotten. Hours passed in the faster-than-light corridor, and then they arrived. The system before them was chaotic. Planets wobbled in unstable orbits, moons were shattered into fragments, and electromagnetic storms twisted the space between them. Sensors indicated populations struggling with failing infrastructure, crops dying, and energy grids failing. Alara gritted her teeth. We have to help, we can't just watch this happen. Alara extended its sensors, scanning the system. The challenge is not just the hazards, there are others here, groups who seek to exploit weakness. They will see the system as an opportunity. Alara nodded. Then we need to be smart. We need to use what we have, knowledge, technology, and human ingenuity. They began with the closest planet, a world of jagged cliffs and shallow seas. Its population was scattered in small settlements, struggling to maintain basic infrastructure. Alara interfaced with the failing systems, while Alara observed and improvised. Where circuits had corroded, she rewired with available materials. Where energy grids were failing, she devised simple but effective solutions to stabilize them temporarily. Alara watched with admiration. You adapt quickly. You create solutions without relying solely on technology. That is remarkable. Alara smiled. It's what humans do. We make the best of what we have, even in impossible situations. Together, they activated an energy shield around the largest settlement, protecting it from storms and debris. Villagers watched in awe as the glowing barrier formed, providing safety where none had existed before. For the first time in years, they could sleep without fear of destruction. But the challenge was far from over. As they moved to repair the planet's water systems, Alara noticed something on the sensors, a fleet approaching from the outer rim of the system. Ships unlike any she had seen before, sleek and fast, weapons charged. They were not here to help. Alara, she said, her voice tense. We have company. The Guardian's eyes glowed brighter. I detected them. They are scavengers, opportunists. They will attempt to claim the system's resources. We must act quickly. Alara thought fast. Humans often succeeded where others failed because they could improvise. We can't outrun them, she said, but maybe we can outthink them. Alara tilted its head. Explain. Alara quickly outlined her plan. They would use the failing systems of the planet as camouflage, creating false energy signals and sensor distortions. The enemy would think the settlements were abandoned or too dangerous to approach. At the same time, they could use the shield and temporary energy networks to stabilize the planet while remaining hidden. Alara's eyes glimmered with appreciation. Ingenious! I had not considered such a human approach. Working together, they executed the plan. Alara rerouted power through hidden channels, creating decoy signals. Alara projected illusions across the skies, simulating natural storms and magnetic interference. When the enemy fleet entered the system, their sensors were confused and they hesitated. Unable to identify real targets, they drifted away, frustrated and cautious. Alara exhaled, her heart pounding. It worked! Alara's voice was quiet, almost reverent. Your ingenuity, your courage, it saved them. Humanity's strength lies not in force, but in thought, in creativity, in action taken under pressure. They spent the next days repairing essential systems on the planet. Water filtration devices, energy grids, transportation networks, all began to function again under the combined guidance of human intuition and Alara's advanced technology. Villagers began to trust the stranger and the guardian who had appeared from the stars, helping where they could and learning from their methods. One evening, as Alara rested after a long day, she looked at Alara. Do you ever wonder, she asked quietly, Why humans have survived when so many species did? Solara's gaze softened. I have watched civilizations rise and fall. Many were strong, many were intelligent, but few had spirit. Humans endure not because they are the strongest, but because they continue to try, because they do not give up even when all seems lost. You persist, you adapt, you imagine. That is your power. Alara felt a warmth in her chest, a sense of pride and purpose. Then maybe that's why we found you. Maybe it was meant to be human curiosity meeting ancient wisdom. Yes, Solara said, and together we can do more than survive. We can restore, protect, and guide. We can help civilizations find their path again. As the repaired planet began to flourish, new life returning to the seas and lands, Alara realized something profound. Humans were young in the galaxy, fragile in many ways, and yet their creativity, courage, and determination allowed them to accomplish feats that older, more advanced species often could not. Their ability to think outside the box, to improvise solutions, and to act with hope in impossible situations was their greatest strength. Solara, once a guardian alone, now had a partner capable of sparking change where none seemed possible. And in this distant system, among worlds that had nearly been lost, the combination of human ingenuity and ancient wisdom began to turn the tide. Alara stood on a cliff overlooking a restored settlement, watching children play and workers repair structures. "We did it," she said softly. "We really did it." Solara's eyes glowed with quiet approval. "Yes, human, this is only the beginning. Many worlds remain in need. Many systems lie in darkness. But with you, perhaps the galaxy will remember." Alara smiled. "Then let's keep moving. Step by step, world by world." And so, human and guardian prepared to continue their journey, bringing hope, ingenuity, and knowledge to civilizations teetering on the edge. Where others had failed, humanity's spirit had succeeded, proving once again that even in a universe of infinite possibilities, humans could make a difference. The stars awaited, and with them, countless challenges and opportunities. And Alara, alongside Solara, was ready to meet them all. The galaxy was quiet for only a moment. The distant star systems twinkled like scattered gems, seemingly peaceful from afar. But Alara knew better. Danger had a way of finding the unprepared, and the system they had just helped was far from safe. Word of the human and the awakened guardian was spreading faster than they realized. Others were watching, waiting for the right moment to strike. Alara and Solara had just completed the repairs on the second planet of the system when the warning sensors blared. A fleet had appeared beyond the asteroid belt, sleek ships with dark hulls and aggressive formations. Solara's circuits flickered with recognition. "They are scavengers," the Guardian said, its voice calm yet firm. "They do not seek knowledge, they seek power, resources, control." Alara gripped the edge of the ship's console. "Then we can't let them reach the planets, we have to stop them." Solara tilted its head. "We can delay them, yes, but to fight directly, we will need strategy, courage, and the ingenuity of your kind." Alara nodded, determination burning in her eyes. Humans were not the strongest, nor the fastest, nor the most technologically advanced. Yet time and again, they had succeeded where others had failed. They had a spark of creativity, of adaptability that no machine could fully predict. It was time to put that spark to the ultimate test. The two of them prepared the planet's defense systems. Ancient energy arrays, dormant for centuries, were reactivated under Solara's guidance, while Alara used human ingenuity to patch weaknesses and improvise new tactics. Energy shields, decoy systems, and rerouted power grids turned the planet into a fortress. "We need to anticipate their moves," Alara said, pacing in front of the main control panel. "They will not come straight at us. They'll try to find weaknesses." Solara's eyes glowed softly. "Then we will be unpredictable. We will act where they least expect. You humans think differently. You improvise. You turn limitations into strength." The first attack came at dawn. Dozens of ships pierced the outer atmosphere, scanning, probing, searching for a vulnerability. Alara had already set traps. Sensors triggered decoy energy readings, false signals, and simulated hazards. The fleet faltered, unable to discern real targets from illusions. "Not bad," Solara murmured, "but they will adapt." Alara's lips curved into a small smile. "Then we'll adapt faster." Using the planet's magnetic storms, which had been weakening the shields and power grids, Alara devised a daring plan. She would channel the storms through rerouted energy lines, creating a temporary surge that could disable the invaders, ships long enough to drive them away. It was risky and she had no guarantee it would work, but humans had always thrived on risk, turning desperation into opportunity. Solara observed her calculations, circuits glowing brighter. Ingenious! I would not have thought of this. Only your kind could combine instinct, observation, and calculation so seamlessly. The plan was set into motion. Energy lines crackled as the magnetic storm was channeled. Sparks danced across the surface, illuminating the settlements below. The invading ships were caught off guard. Systems malfunctioned, engines sputtered, and shields faltered. The scavengers tried to regain control, but every move they made played into Alara's carefully constructed trap. When the surge ended, the enemy fleet was forced to retreat, confused and weakened. The planet's inhabitants cheered from below, not fully understanding the danger they had just survived, but sensing the protection offered by the human and the Guardian. Alara exhaled, her hands trembling from adrenaline. It worked, but this is only the beginning. Solara's voice carried a note of respect. Your creativity saved lives. You acted with courage, intelligence, and precision. That is the strength of your species, strength beyond physical power, beyond machines, beyond experience alone. Yet there was no time to celebrate. As they stabilized the planet, sensors detected another anomaly. A massive fleet larger than the first had appeared at the edge of the system. They were organized, coordinated, and well-armed. This time, retreat was not an option. The system's survival rested on human ingenuity, strategy, and the alliance between Alara and Solara. Alara took a deep breath. We'll have to fight smart, not just with shields and tricks, but by thinking like them, predicting their moves. Solara extended its limbs over the holographic maps. Then we will do it together. I will guide you with knowledge of strategy, but your insight, intuition, and adaptability will be key. The plan was daring. Alara suggested dividing the planet's defenses into sectors, creating the illusion of weak points while concentrating real strength where the enemy least expected. Solara coordinated ancient defense arrays, using its knowledge of energy, physics, and orbital mechanics to maximize impact. Hours passed as the enemy fleet approached, firing warning volleys and testing the planet's strength. Each strike was countered with precision, each move anticipated by the combined efforts of human intuition and Guardian strategy. The inhabitants watched from below, inspired by the invisible force protecting them, their hope rekindled. Alara realized that the key was not raw power, it was unpredictability. She devised a decoy fleet using holographic projections of ships and energy signatures. The enemy, confident in their numerical superiority, attacked the illusions, wasting time and resources. Meanwhile, hidden energy turrets and shield networks prepared for the final strike. As the battle reached its peak, Alara noticed the enemy was coordinating an attack pattern similar to those she had studied in simulations of ancient battles. She adjusted her plan, rerouting power to create a massive energy pulse that would temporarily disable the attacker's systems. Solara assisted, using its deep knowledge of physics to ensure the pulse targeted the enemy without harming the planet. The pulse surged across space, bright and powerful, catching the enemy fleet off guard. Ships lost control, weapons went offline, and their formations broke apart. One by one, the scavengers retreated, unable to overcome the combination of human ingenuity and Solara's advanced guidance. When the battle ended, the system was silent once more. The planet below was safe, its inhabitants beginning the slow work of rebuilding with renewed confidence. Alara leaned against the control panel, exhausted but exhilarated. "We did it," she said. "We really did it." Solara's eyes glowed softly, reflecting the starlight. "Yes, human, you have proven what I suspected. Your species is not only clever but courageous, adaptable, and resilient. Where others fail, you find solutions. Where others despair, you inspire hope." Alara smiled faintly. I just try to do what's right. But I see now that humans can do more than survive. We can protect, create, and inspire. Maybe that's our real strength." Solara's tone softened. "It is. Your kind carries a spark, light in darkness, hope in despair. And now, I understand why you were able to call my name when no one else could. You see possibility where others see limitation. That is why we can change the course of worlds." As they watched the planet's surface, settlements slowly returning to life, Alara realized the depth of their partnership. Humans brought imagination, adaptability, and courage. Solara brought wisdom, memory, and advanced technology. Together, they had created something neither could achieve alone. But Alara also knew the galaxy was vast and threats were endless. This victory was just a beginning. Others would come, testing their skills, creativity, and courage. Yet she felt no fear. Humans had a way of thriving against the odds, turning challenges into opportunities and forging paths where none existed before. Solara extended a limb, scanning the horizon. The galaxy is not yet safe. Many worlds remain at risk. But now we have proven that the combination of human ingenuity and ancient wisdom can prevail. Alara nodded. Then we keep moving, one world at a time. Step by step we can make a difference. The stars above stretched infinitely, each one a potential challenge, a new opportunity, a story waiting to be written. And in that vast expanse, human curiosity, courage, and ingenuity would continue to shine, a spark capable of awakening the forgotten and guiding civilizations toward hope. For the first time, Alara truly understood Solara's words. Humans were not the strongest, not the oldest, not the most advanced, but they had a spark, the ability to imagine, adapt, and act when it mattered most. That spark had saved a system today, and it would save countless more in the days to come. Together, human and Guardian prepared for the next journey. The galaxy awaited, full of unknown challenges and opportunities. And Alara, with Solara at her side, was ready to meet them, step by step, memory by memory, world by world. The test of valor had been passed, but the adventure was far from over. The galaxy was stirring. Word of the human and the awakened Guardian had spread far and wide, carried by signals, whispers, and the movements of those who had survived their efforts. Civilizations that had been on the brink of collapse began to stir with hope. Messages of gratitude and curiosity reached Alara and Solara as they traveled to the next system in need. Yet even as hope grew, new challenges awaited, for not all beings wished to see life flourish. Alara stood on the deck of their ship, gazing at the stars stretching infinitely before them. "It's beautiful," she whispered. "So many worlds, so much life waiting to be saved." Solara's glowing eyes turned to her, soft yet intense. "It is, and it is yours to witness, human. Yours to guide, but remember, seeing is not enough. Action is required, courage is required, imagination is required." Alara nodded. "Then we act, step by step, memory by memory, world by world." Their next destination was a planet caught between two rival civilizations, each on the verge of war. Resources were scarce, settlements were in ruins, and fear had replaced trust. Solara scanned the system, its ancient knowledge awakening in full. "The balance here is fragile," it said. "One wrong move and the planet will be lost entirely." Alara clenched her fists. "Then we have to do it right. We can't just patch systems, we have to restore hope, show them a future worth protecting." They landed near the largest settlement, greeted by wary faces. The inhabitants had learned to trust no one, having seen so many outsiders come and go, promising help and leaving chaos behind. Alara stepped forward, hands raised in peace. "We are here to help," she said. "We want to work with you, not against you. Together we can rebuild." Solara projected holographic images of the planet's past, showing civilizations thriving and cooperating. "This world has been lost to fear," Solara said, "but it has not been lost to memory. The knowledge exists here, waiting to be remembered." Slowly, cautiously, the inhabitants approached. They began to share their knowledge, their traditions, their problems. Alara listened carefully, learning how they had survived and what they needed most. Solara interfaced with the planet's failing systems, guiding repairs, while Alara used her ingenuity to create temporary solutions with limited resources. Water purification devices were repaired, energy grids stabilized, and transport networks restored. But the real challenge was not technology, it was trust. The two rival civilizations would not work together without reason, and any failure could trigger renewed conflict. Alara knew that humans had an advantage here. "People respond to courage, to vision," she told Solara. "We have to show them that cooperation benefits everyone, not just one side." Solara's eyes glowed. "And your kind, humans, have the ability to inspire trust, even in the most desperate situations. That is why we succeed where others fail." Alara organized meetings between leaders, translating the Guardian's knowledge into practical solutions. They demonstrated how shared resources, combined effort, and intelligent planning could benefit everyone. Slowly, suspicion gave way to curiosity, and curiosity to cooperation. Humans had always understood that progress often required teamwork, and they were willing to show others how it worked. Days passed, and the system began to change. Villages rebuilt, energy grids hummed steadily, and children played freely once more. Alara watched with pride as leaders who had once been enemies shook hands, their eyes reflecting cautious hope. "It's working," she said softly. Salara's voice was quiet but full of admiration. "Your species remarkable. You create solutions where others see only obstacles. You inspire where others see only despair. That is why you are called to awaken the forgotten." Alara smiled. "Maybe that's the real gift humans have. We adapt, we think, we care. And when we do, things can change, no matter how impossible it seems." But even as they celebrated, the galaxy reminded them that peace was never permanent. On the edge of the system, sensors detected a fleet unlike any they had encountered before. Ships of immense size, their design unfamiliar, moved with precision. They were neither scavengers nor raiders. They were explorers or perhaps conquerors. Salara's circuits hummed with tension. "They are advanced, highly intelligent. They will see the restoration of this system as interference. They may test our abilities." Alara straightened. "Then we face them together. We've done this before. We can do it again." The fleet approached, scanning the system. Alara and Salara prepared defenses not only to protect the settlements but also to communicate. Instead of attacking outright, they sent signals of peace, demonstrating their intentions to help. Yet the new fleet was cautious, observing, testing, and probing. Alara realized that humans had a unique skill once again: creativity. "We don't have to fight them," she said. "We have to show them proof. Actions speak louder than words. Let's demonstrate what cooperation looks like." Together, they created a display of restored systems, thriving communities, and repaired technology. Energy grids hummed with life, water systems purified streams, and villages flourished. The fleet observed silently, then slowly began to lower its defenses. Their sensors recorded the humans and Guardian not as threats, but as catalysts for growth. Salara's voice carried pride. "You see, human, even in the face of superior force, your creativity and courage allow you to prevail. Your species inspires not through domination, but through possibility." Alara nodded. "That's what humans do. We build, we solve, we protect. And when others see what we create, they often follow the example." For days, they worked with the fleet, sharing knowledge, exchanging ideas, and forming alliances. The once fractured system began to thrive, a beacon of cooperation and hope. Alara realized that this was more than restoring a single system. It was creating a model, proof that even the smallest species could influence the galaxy for good. Salara watched her closely. "Your impact will be remembered, human. The civilizations we save, the systems we restore, they will tell stories of you and your kind. They will remember the spark that awakened the forgotten." Alara looked at the restored settlements below, smiling. "Then let's keep moving. There are still worlds to save, still memories to recover. We can't stop now." Salara nodded. "Yes, the galaxy is vast and time is long, but together, human and Guardian, we will ensure that civilizations survive, thrive, and remember their past." In the weeks that followed, they traveled from system to system. Each world presented new challenges: unpredictable weather, failing technology, social tension, and unfamiliar species. But with human ingenuity and Salara's ancient wisdom, they overcame each obstacle. Villages were rebuilt, energy grids restored, knowledge shared, and civilizations inspired. The galaxy began to remember, step by step, system by system. Alara felt the weight of their work, yet she did not falter. Humans thrived in challenge, and she understood that her species had a role far beyond their home planet. They were not conquerors or invaders. They were catalysts, bringing hope and possibility to forgotten corners of the universe. Salara's voice, calm and proud, echoed in her mind. "You have done what few could. You have awakened hope. You have inspired action. You have reminded the galaxy that even the smallest spark can ignite change." Alara smiled, her heart swelling with purpose. "And will continue. For every world that needs help, for every memory that has been lost, humans will be there. We can't ignore what needs to be done." As they approached the edge of another star system, Salara extended a limb toward the stars. "Look, human, these stars are not just points of light. They are worlds, histories, civilizations waiting for remembrance. And you have become part of that story." Alara's eyes glimmered with wonder. "Then we write it together, humans and Guardians, memory and action, hope and courage." The galaxy was vast, full of unknown dangers and untold possibilities. Yet humans, with their creativity, resilience, and spirit, had proven that they could make a difference. Celera, once a guardian forgotten by time, now had a partner capable of changing the fate of countless worlds. Together, they traveled on, carrying knowledge, courage, and hope to the farthest reaches of space. And wherever they went, civilizations remembered, learned, and flourished. For Alara understood a truth that would guide her and her species forever. In a universe of infinite possibilities, even the youngest and smallest beings could leave a mark that would never be forgotten. And Celera, the ancient guardian, had finally found its purpose restored, not through power, but through partnership, and through the spark of humanity that would light the galaxy for generations to come. The stars shone brightly, a universe alive with memory and promise. And humanity had taken its place among them, not as conquerors, but as the rememberers. The journey was endless, but for the first time, Alara knew that they were ready. Step by step, world by world, memory by memory, the galaxy would continue to awaken, and humans would be at its heart.